Hello and welcome. We'll just move on over to the side here. There we go. Sun is still nicely kind of trying to get through the clouds, but you know what? It's wonderful. It's still great. So, welcome everybody. My name is Mary June Tracy. I'm a spiritual influencer, an astrologer coming to you with the 411 of the shenanigans of the planets. Whoa. And I was listening to a few podcasts this morning about the astrology and some of the energies coming through and some of the feelings that I have been feeling, with it. It's been interesting. It's been an interesting week, and especially with that Uranian Saturn square and how things are closing off and reflecting on last week, and how last week is really a reflection of how, especially with that Uranus square Saturn, because it's going to happen two more times, how that is sort of going to be a ongoing theme for for this year. And so the thing is sitting is sort of, what happened last week, what was going on last week. And, looking at, I was doing the angel last week, and working with the angels and working with the energies of last week with the angels, and coming in with intention with what it was about, right? And coming into that acceptance of harmony and a bliss. And then it's funny because I notice how I go through and then I don't journal for a bit when I know I should be journaling, because that's sort of when there's kind of a weird kind of vibrational energy that is coming through. And the change to what you're doing to create what you want next. I mean, this is what you're going to be hearing a lot of. And it's positive and weird. And Mars is on Algol, Algol, and it is a star that is in Taurus, and it is called the devil star or the demon star, and it is related to alcohol. It is related to that vibration of spirits, and Mars is on it, so there's an activation of this energy, and it's understanding our control and how we can slip off in some weird way. And then we have the sun coming up, or the moon coming up, the full moon coming up on Saturday at 12:17 Pacific Standard Time at about 8 degrees. And this moon coming up is going to be on the asteroid of Lucifer, like exact. And I was thinking, okay, what is this energy? What does this mean? And people can go down, you can go down this dark alley of evil and really focus on the evilness that's there. But there's this oddity that I'm feeling on how to work this out, how to deal with this energy. Because I noticed that, and especially making a trine over to Venus, and Venus going into Pisces today. And I mean, she has so much power in Pisces. Like, she right now, when it comes to the charts, she has more power than Saturn right now. She is just pulsating, this vibrance of energy, and being in Pisces, and and the sun's there and Neptune's there. So there is this, vibrance of feelings and energy coming through, yet we have to be careful. It's like almost where we could get, it's almost like it's where it's great, and it's like, wow, this is so good. But it's almost like when you get to be able to, I got Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory coming in. When you go and you see all of this, all of this chocolate fountains and goodies, and you're like, ooh, yeah, and you think that you can consume it all. But what ends up happening is that you overconsume, you overdo it. You think you can, but you haven't had that self-control. You haven't had that putting the discernment into positivity, putting the discernment into positivity for yourself. And that where this craziness can come in, where it's the other analogy they gave me. When you haven't gone out partying for a long time and you decide, what? Girls are going out partying. Yeah, I'm going to go out and do shots. Like at 21, you might have been able to you fall into the river of chocolate. You think you could go out and do all these shots and you could just give it a shot. Yeah, and you're shooting tequila, whatever it is. But you think you can do it, but you really can't. You're not. It's a falsity. It's it's an illusion that's coming forward that says, you know what, maybe you need, sure, you might be able to go out with the girls, but honor yourself with this. Don't over and think that you've just hit, party land. And that another movie comes into mind where they couples retreat, where they're in the couples retreat, but this one couple, this one guy wants to get over to the other side, to the party side, right? That's where I want to go. I want to go find my youth and how beautiful I was in my youth. Yet in comes, it's like, no, you know what? This is why the thing is, who do you want to go to Applebee's with? Not that I'd want to go to Applebee's, just an FYI. But who do I want to spend that time with? What is that importance to me? And that's where this is where it's coming in. It is this new energy, new direction, right? So new energy, new direction. But don't go into the offerings that are kind of forced upon you. Don't go into the offerings that are not your alignment, not yours, right? It's that, and that's what, that's where that, with the star of Elegon, I'm probably saying it wrong because I'm horrible with English. Any language practically. But this is where, it is called the demon star. And it is a lovely constellation that straddles the Milky Way, right? With Perseus, the hero, which is visible in the northern skies from July to March. And it stars arc from the Capella in the constellation of Auriga. And it makes kind of like a W there, right? But according to legend, the famous Parisian astronomer who stands on one of the bridges, the science bridges on nights when the stars were there, and there was an eclipse to point out this remarkable phenomenon to passerbyers. And this energy that's coming through, I'll get to my story here. The energy, it's like here's this brightness that's coming through, but it's changing. It's a brightness. If you know when to look for it, its brightness changes. It is a famous star. It's a beautiful star. It's a binary star, and this is bringing in this energy of how do you look at things. Like, it's depending how you can look at this star, and it can change, and it can be illuminating, and it could be effervescent in so many ways, right? And this is where it's coming back. What is that? Is that what you want to look at? Is that the angle you want to look at it? Or is, as I come back here, there's a different, and we can go over here, into the other brightness. What kind of angle? Because each angle gives a different phase, a different shadow. And this is the energy of coming into and really working on our depths and on our shadows, where we could come into and we're saying, you know what, I'd rather be just where I look really good, and I don't want to see any of the other shadows. I don't want to look at this. Because the energies that are showing and what's coming in is getting us to really look at what we are doing. And you might be chasing an illusion, like Mercury's chasing, it's like chasing Jupiter. Come on, guy, give me the goods. You got it. You got all the answers. You know everything. And he's just chasing away. But yet Jupiter doesn't have that energy to give him anything. It's like, man, I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing for you right now. And the moon is, is wanting, is illuminating, but not having us to be influenced by what is not true to us. And going into the false climb, you're going into this, you're going to fall, right? So everything, might seem like it's light, but you got to come into that intuition, come into that knowingness, that truth of you, that truth. You just know. It's just like, you know what, I've been doing so good. Why am I going back there? Why am I going back into this falsehood? And the thing is that a lot of many people, this is like waking up. So, like everything that happened last week, with other places and Texas and everything. So this is now taking a look at, this is why this is happening. This is why this is happening. And really breaking free in order to make the changes and adjusting. And there's a cleanup, right? There's a cleanup right now. So a lot of us are looking at parts of our world, and there are some cleanups that we have to do. And we have to be honest with those cleanups. We have to be honest with this, and we have to be proactive in making those changes. As frustrating as they may be, and it could be from actions that we have taken back from 2020 in about, around June of 2020, maybe there's actions that we took then, and now we are coming into being held accountable for them. Good or bad, right? Doesn't matter. This is going back even, because with this moon, it's like an opening phase of August of 2019. What was starting then? Right? So everything has this energy that comes together, and now we're coming into a closing. We're closing this off. We're closing some of this energy off for ourselves. And it's not to, with Athena coming in, it's strategy. And this week is very mutable. There's mutable energy. Virgo's mutable, Pisces mutable. So it can, all of this changing and flip-flopping and it feels chaotic. And it feels chaotic, but we got to come into it, and we still got to come. What is my flow? What is my truth? What is my joy? What is it me? Because there's a lot coming in, and looking at what is that reality based, right? And not getting lost in some crazy illusional energy. It is, where are we climbing that ladder? Where we're ascending upwards. And as we do, in each step that we take means that we have to deal with stuff. And this is where you could get caught into, instead of dealing with it, like couples retreat, instead of dealing with it because it brings up shit, instead of dealing with it, you want to escape to the other side of the island because it's like, oh, party time. I want to go there because that's where, I don't have to worry about anything. So this is bringing in this truth for us and looking at the truth. And sometimes it can be pretty crazy. It can be pretty crazy. And activating. So this is, what is your why? What is your why? And even for me, this is like really breaking it. It worked, eh? Yeah. Oh, right on. I got one raw sugar. Okay, thank you. What is your why? And you need the island, but going to the island is actually going to make you sicker. Going over into that illusion is going to make you sicker. It's like somebody who's been off of heroin for a long time. And when they quit, they're usually at a certain level of how much they have to take every day, or opiates, how much they have to take every day. Then they think that they can go back on that and take the same dose as what they took before. And then they OD. This is where it's like, no, this is spiritual work that's coming in. This is the spiritual work that's coming in. This is why the 21-day meditation starting March 1st is a meditation for compassion of the heart. And we're working with that compassion of the heart. You know, this is why we're doing a 1-day thing on astrology. We're going to do 1 day on the 27th just on astrology, teaching you a little bit about astrology, giving you some basics. Then, you know, we have the angel class coming in. This is giving people basic foundation, fundamental things for them to start working on. And it's work. It's work. This is a year of deep spiritual work and shadow work, right? This is what it is. And it's getting us to step into it. I mean, even for myself, there's like, holy crap, okay, I gotta start looking at what I'm doing to my own body, right? And the things I gotta start. Okay, I wanted to get healthier. Well, yeah, I haven't been being so healthy lately. So now I have to start looking at it and saying, okay, I got to do some adjustments here. I got to do some adjustments here. I got to realign and say, you know what, that's not where I want to go, because that's a deadly road. It could be a deadly road. So this is coming back, and this is where you look in the adjusting and cleaning up. And there is, for some people, there's a lot of adjusting and a lot of cleaning up and proactivity, making the changes. There's the emotional, you know, maybe you feel emotionally unsupported and alone, but know that this too is going to pass. This is getting you into that awareness. Maybe there was a dependence upon somebody or something for which you knew wasn't a good thing, but you stayed. So it's transitionary and activating. So we have a lot of and this theme, so we're looking at the theme for this year. And so when I looked at, you know, things that were going on last year, are you talking to me again? Yes, Dana, I'm talking directly to you. The theme of last year, and we saw within the world, you know, a lot of devastations. We saw 4 eruptions around the world when it came to volcanoes. We saw a lot of, you know, things disrupting and shifting and changing, not only on a world scale, and we're seeing it still. There's a lot of shifting and movements that are coming in and realizations that are coming forward. And it's people having to take, oh, fuck, I fucked up on this. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. And saying, okay, now I got to own it. Now I got to clean it. It's where you think, you know, you think that you're doing it for somebody's better good, or you think you are. But when somebody says, well, I'm doing it to help somebody, I always, you know, whenever I say I'm going to do it for help somebody, am I doing it actually for them, or am I doing it to make myself look good? Is it actually a good thing that I'm doing? Why am I doing it? Why? What is your why? What is your why? Right? So looking at your why, and being proactive. And this is where you might feel, you might feel emotionally unsupported and alone. And where there's things, activities, and that I'm witnessing, not only in my own life, but with those around, that are falling apart, that aren't in alignment. And it's, you know, where people hang on to something, and it's like, how long are you going to hang on to something that's not working? How long are you going to hang on to it? And sometimes it's like you're hanging on to it because that is your escape. That's where you feel you have to go to, or that's your excuse, whatever it is, to unwind, to, you know, it's taking the higher road, and that's where we're heading. You know, it's that Jacob's ladder. It's taking that higher road, going up the ladder, and sometimes going up that ladder it's not easy, because you can't have anybody else on the ladder with you. It's you going up the ladder. It's you coming into your truth, that Taurus energy of knowing that truth of, this is who I am. This is the truth. This is, everything is in light, and this is, I know what is true for me. I'm not going to go do the false climb. I'm not going to climb something that that others are saying this is what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. And it's the false climb, and you're going to fall. It's not going to be able to support you. So this is coming back to yours, and knowing, knowing this is a nest egg I'm going to create, or am I going to go into the fire and brimstone and go into the craziness and just do the peacock and pretend everything looks beautiful when everything around me is shit? Instead, you know what? I'm going in and I'm going to build this foundation. I'm going to do, this is where it's coming in. So one of the things for me is like, yeah, you know what? I'm changing to a spiritual influencer, because that's where it feels right. That's the climb I want to start taking. That's where I want the movement I want to start going to, and bringing in the new heights of energy. And in doing that, I have to be honest with myself. What I am noticing, and this is for me, and I'm going to say this out. I know there's not very many people on my scope right now, and that's funny. This is for me, where some things, that I've looked at and I feel like the light isn't there. So I have to change, and I have to mold to where I can find my light and allow myself to shine more brightly, and not hang on to the dead weight or the darkness. And I've had mention, and it's funny this week, funny, haha, and now with the full moon, and coming across my feed, or different clients that I've been talking to, and for me, I'm going to the light. I'm going, yes, there is, I want to go to the light. I want to go into the energies of the unicorn. I want to go into the energies of the angels. This is where I want to go, and I can better off deal with things that are heavier or darker. And I can deal with that because I'm standing in my power and I'm standing in my light. And that's, when I see people going towards and looking at different things, and I'm like, yeah, that's nice. And there's just, it's almost where they'd rather stay in the shadows and working in the shadows. And working with your shadow means you have to come out and shine a light on your shadow as you're standing in your power. Hence, that's what, the Virgo full moon is, power. It is her standing in her power, in her purity, in her essence. The Virgo energy, purity and essence, that's what it is. And Lucifer's there. That energy is there. And it's like, do I, and he just stands there. He goes, what do you want? Where do you want to go? I can give you the falsity. I can give you over here. Sure, let's go. Or you can stand over here in your truth and say, that looks good, but that isn't where I need to go at this time. I need to stand in the brightness. I need to stand where I need to go. When I do the paintings, when I with Kim, is that we start with the dark, right? We go with the dark and then we add the light in there. And as you put that light onto the dark, it becomes illuminating. And it's so cool. And I love what's here. Horse eye. So, with adding the gold and the pink and all of that with that, right? Same with the other one, as above, so below, right? And even my owl, we started with some dark colors and then we brought in the bright neon colors on there. And same with my, when I did, this one was done with the Art Sherpa. So I was painting with Art Sherpa. And my trees and stuff, it's like you can have the shadowy, but you got to bring in that light. This is a heavy year. This is a heavy year of transitioning us and looking at ourselves and being honest, being in our truth. And that's a big one, being honest and being in our truth, because not all the time, and I feel like that's why we need support groups, going into the support groups is important. It's imperative at this time to have some form of support group around you, and whatever that support group may be for you. And that's what I find is important. So I'm going to send you guys out so much love today, and bringing in the energies of the divine, and sending out beautiful light of shimmering of the diamonds, and allowing for that pressure, because through that pressure of the diamonds allows immersion to come through. So may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. If you are interested in any of the classes that I am doing, let me know and I can put your name down so that we can register you. And meditation is $75. Angel classes or meditation's $25. Angel class is $75, and the astrology class is $75. Those the astrology and the angel class are both. What do you call it? My brain, they just wiped it clean. Are both 75. There we go. So the angel. All right. Go forth. I got you down, Dana. Have a blessed one, everybody, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.